This was not a good look for Jason Lee. This was a really big mistake. Him appearing on Ebro and Rosenberg's podcast is causing a lot of chaos in his life. Before we get the video started, this video is sponsored by Kalshi. Kalshi is a prediction market where you literally make money by predicting real world events. Drake is dropping Iceman May 15th. You can go on Kalshi right now and make money by placing a prediction on Drake first week sales. Look at these odds. You can make money on Kalshi by predicting Drake is gonna sell more than 150,000 copies first week. That's like the easiest money you could ever make in your life. You can sign up with Kalshi by clicking the link in my description or using code FLACO to get $10 when you sign up. So for a couple years now, at least, Jason Lee has had beef with Ebro and Rosenberg for something they said on their show years ago. Now, Jason Lee has not been shy about it. He hasn't been hiding it. He has pretty much revealed that he don't rock with Ebro and Rosenberg in multiple interviews.
You know, Ebro, I met Ebro years ago when he was the music director for, not music director, but the program director for
KML?
No, 102.5 in Sacramento when I grew up in Stockton. He was over that. So I knew Ebro, would go to the shows. He was cool. Then he moved on and became whatever he became in New York. And so it's funny. It's ironic that I just saw this post where he's complaining about how he's not getting the support as independent media when he just denied me an interview to promote my show. But here's the good thing, right? I'm glad that he's experiencing with those of us in independent media because I grinded from zero to now. Every interview I've ever gotten has been because of relationships or that hustle. So the fact that now you got to feel what we've been feeling when you out here denying independent media, it's kind of like your karma. Plus I said Peter Rosenberg a long time ago because he's a culture vulture. But who knows? Who knows?
Because also, too, you've been vocal about your former co-hosts, Melissa Ford and Joe.
We're good.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
When did you learn how to crack the bank with this social media, TV thing? What was the moment, and did anybody teach you?
Nobody taught me. Matter of fact, so when it came to radio podcasting, I really followed Charlamagne as the blueprint. I looked at Charlamagne, what he did with Wendy. Wendy talk, I followed Wendy.
Not only did he say F Ebro, he also said F the co-host Rosenberg, and Rosenberg is a culture vulture. Now, shortly after this, though, Jason Lee will get an invite to come on the show. Now, if I'm Jason Lee, and I get an invite to come on the show after talking about you guys, where y'all was denying my interview beforehand, I'm not coming on because I'm smelling a sabotage, I'm smelling ambush, I'm smelling something nefarious. But he still went on. Now, when he went on, he was confronted about this, and he was asked to defend his points about why he don't like them, which he struggled to do.
Put on locks, the radio. I mean, give her, don't want to give her flowers or not. Wendy was one of the first people who did what she did, what we do now. And so I just kind of took all that together.
But I watched it. We had a back and forth about it. It was we had the disagreement then. I didn't think it was an unpleasant conversation. Wendy's not my cup of tea. She's super important to you. She's super important to Charlamagne. For me, she wasn't for me. But I thought we had a good exchange. I think the part that got lost, just to be clear,
y'all being too nice, man.
I think that things. No. I think generally when there's friction between people, usually there's some sort of miscommunication, or you feel a certain way about something that I don't recognize. Like, for example, your whole Karen thing, to Ebro's point, you have to remember by that point we've already been on the air every day, 4 hours a day for years. So just truthfully, some stories you read them, you keep it moving. It just doesn't mean that much, and it's a big deal in your life, and I get that, right? But then after you did our show, and you said it was a conversation on Drink Champs, I watched it back. It wasn't. It was a good conversation.
Matter of fact, the comments confirm what he's saying.
Yeah, people in the comments.
Comment.
No, it was actually a good.
No. You're in the algorithm. You're on the internet.
No, I do.
No, you want engagement. You love the comments.
Watch this. And you know what? I don't care.
So, anyways, I watched it back. Though it was a fine conversation.
Yeah.
Before I put up a comment about you, when Fuzzy and Quincy did your interview, and I was like, "Why'd you have this guy on? He sucks," or whatever. You had already said about me post our interview that I felt was up because I'm like, you did our show. Yeah, we didn't agree on everything, but we were pleasant to each other. We had you on our platform.
You could tell Rosenberg was really affected or hurt by what Jason Lee said when Jason Lee called him a culture vulture. And you could also tell Jason Lee don't give a damn about this beef at all. Jason Lee is telling him, bro, I don't care, man. Okay, I said it. And right? But Rosenberg was so affected by this because I guess not being accepted by all black people is traumatizing for him. So he kept pushing on it, right? And what happens here is Rosenberg cares so much about this that Rosenberg had his ducks in a row. He had his argument. He had everything tightened up. Jason Lee came into this not even like wanting to talk about this, not even really caring about this, and he really wasn't prepared. So Rosenberg began to give Jason Lee this onslaught of, why you call me a culture vulture? Defend your point, defend your point, defend your point, kind of forcing Jason Lee to, to just put out, to just end a rebuttal, right? But because Jason Lee didn't care about the rebuttal, he couldn't really articulate why he called Rosenberg a culture vulture, and it made him look really terrible and really bad when his clip touched the timeline.
And then you me afterwards. That's when I put up the comment in a petty way where I'm like, oh, why are you giving this guy a platform?
I think you called me a clown.
I called you a clown, sure.
We called him a culture vulture.
You went way past clown, bro. You went.
Well, here's the deal. This isn't a measurement of each other's dick, right? You said this, I said this hit harder, this was this or that. I don't really care about those things. What I'm saying is I didn't call you a culture vulture prior to you calling me a clown. If you think I'm a clown or I'm on some clown shit, you could check my valuation.
Well, no, it was dissing me after. But you dissed me after you left my show. That was what was the clown.
Oh, diss or criticize, right? You can criticize me.
But why would you? But you were right there in my face. You did our show. It was cool. We had a good conversation.
Now we're talking.
So I appreciate
what's the difference?
So no, I appreciate that.
Guess what? I don't switch up when I leave the room.
But you did.
Hold on.
No, you precisely switched up.
I told you what I thought in that conversation. I'm gonna just bring the tone down so that way people can hear me, because I think sometimes my delivery, people be like, oh, they get lost in it. And
sure.
I really get
I do the same. So,
okay. So whether we have pleasantries today, I have an opinion here, which I will tell you when I leave and I get online and say my opinion. It's not because I left the room that my opinion changed. It's because at the time I'm addressing whatever I'm addressing, that is my opinion right there. So I don't switch up. I can code switch, but I don't switch up. Let me just tell you that you calling me a clown, cool. If you feel like I'm on some clown, that's your right to say whatever you want. If I feel you're a culture vulture, if I feel like you don't understand, as a black entrepreneur in media, independent media, you'll understand now. Cool. I'm gonna have that opinion, but I would say it. I don't know why you're telling another person, why are you having this clown on your show? Because it's their show.
Fair enough.
It's their show.
At that point, I was offended that you had left our show after a good conversation that I thought was cool and talked.
Okay.
So that's it.
Got it. Okay.
And then, but hold on, but not that's not it. Then you went on Drink Champs and spent 15 minutes basically calling me a privileged suburban culture vulture. You knew everything about my life, apparently, and what my journey was.
GPT, so you have to respect the research.
No, I did. No, listen, but I was just curious what it was a lazy way to attack me. Like you have the right to not like me. You have the right to think I was a dick to you. Totally fair game. And I appreciate a culture vulture because I know the people who really do what that is. Pull from this culture, from hip hop, black culture, make their living off of it while not contributing back to it. You made that up about me without any real information. Okay. You knew it just sounded good and people would believe it.
So now Jason Lee is backed up in a corner to where he either has to admit, that he kind of made it all up because he was just pissed off at Rosenberg. And even that makes you look a little crazy and you lose some credibility. Or you have to articulate and present your case for why Rosenberg is not a culture vulture. And you have to argue with a man like Rosenberg, who has probably gone home, for the last, 80% of his life, coming up with arguments on why he's not a culture vulture, because he wants this sense of validation and belonging in hip hop. And, that's just, Rosenberg probably has a dissertation on culture vulture and why he's not a culture vulture. Even if Jason Lee did his research and his homework, it would have been a tough battle. But it was an impossible battle for Jason Lee because he came in relaxed, trying to have a conversation, just trying to chill. And Rosenberg came with a 150-page research paper and presentation on why he's not a culture vulture, a research paper he's been writing his entire life. And it looks bad for Jason Lee because if you make accusations about somebody, if you critique somebody, if you said harsh things about somebody, you should be able to defend why you said those things. And Jason Lee didn't really have, a perfect explanation, and it felt like Rosenberg was washing him completely. Now, this is not even a conversation about who we agree with or who we like. Because, like for the most part, like people watching this video, we probably like Jason Lee more than we like Rosenberg. However, if we're just critiquing the argument and the debate, regardless of if you think Rosenberg is a culture vulture or not, Rosenberg got the best of Jason Lee and it made him look terrible.
But
clip hustling. That's a new. I'm gonna use that.
So
I'm gonna steal that from your culture.
Thank
clip
you.
Hustling.
Culture vulture.
Exactly. But I can admit it. That's the thing. I can admit
but
it.
I'm not. But I take it super seriously. I would never. But I would never do
feelings,
that.
But this is
no. I
So-
care.
so
my
can I
life
interject?
has been about hip hop culture.
So can I interject
one second, Ebro.
Yeah.
My life has been about it and contributing to it. And the reason Ebro found me in the first place and thought I'd be a fit at the time at Hot 97, which at that time cared about the culture, was because he saw I was out there as an independent YouTube creator who loved hip hop and thought he could contribute. He brought me up here. My first gig was I was getting a shift rate to do a Sunday night show where I was breaking underground artists. They eventually gave me $60K to do weekend mornings with Cypher Sounds. Living in New York, hosting underground events at SOBs, DJing, getting by all the artists who were going, who is this white boy? Why is he here? I loved it. Continued to promote underground artist after underground artist, many of which became some of the biggest stars of music today. Who, you know what you should do? You should ask your friend, A$AP Rocky, what he feels about Peter Rosenberg. Ask him if he's a culture vulture or if he helped make his career.
Well, let me say this.
And he will say, oh, Rosenberg is the guy who took my songs, cleaned them up for radio play, and gave them to other DJs so he could play my music.
Right.
So all I'm trying to say is, to me, being a culture vulture is taking from the culture, not giving back. Okay. I have gotten things from hip hop culture. It's helped make my life, and I'm incredibly grateful. Okay. But I have always and always will prioritize giving back to that culture, helping uplift other people, people of color specifically. That will always be a part of my life. So when you just lackluster throw out culture vulture, yeah, man, on a big platform like Drink Champs, and you have a big voice, and by the way, you're a very entertaining, charismatic talker, it sounds really good, yeah, that's some hurtful to say about someone. Okay. That's not who I am.
People who are disobsessed with wanting to belong and be down just makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It just makes me uncomfortable because why do you want to belong this much? Like, why do you have this extreme desire to be down and to be among us? It just makes me feel weird. I don't know why. But again, I'll say by Rosenberg's definition of what a culture vulture is, I'll say Rosenberg is a culture vulture. Because other people, other white dudes who Rosenberg has called culture vultures, they've done same things, all right? Like, they've broken artists. They've interviewed rappers, all right? They've given opportunities to like black people, and Rosenberg has said that's not enough. Rosenberg has said, all right, that's not enough not to be a culture vulture. So if Rosenberg has chastised other white dudes, and even some black dudes, because he's called academics a culture vulture before. So if Rosenberg has chastised and called other people culture vulture, even though those people have also broken records, have also broken artists, have also given back opportunities, has also spoken up for social justice initiatives, he called them a culture vulture. So by his standard, then he's a culture vulture too. Now, if Rosenberg wants to change up his standards, quite frankly, I don't care enough about who's a culture vulture and who's not to debate it, so I don't give a damn. I'm just saying it's hypocritical on Rosenberg's behalf to say people over here are culture vultures, and just because they've broken artists, they've employed black people, they've given back to the community, right? Like, they have spoken up for Black Lives Matter and social justice initiatives. Just because they did that doesn't take away from their content, so hence they are still culture vultures. Then Rosenberg can't use breaking artists, working for a hip-hop radio station, interviewing rappers, speaking up for social justice, he can't use that as the criteria for why he's not a culture vulture. That's just my stance. I don't care too much about this, bro. Quite frankly, I don't debate on whether or not white people in hip-hop are culture vultures, because I don't care about that topic, bro. I think it's boring, right? I think I was on like a podcast one, man, with these dudes, bro. And the reason why also too, like, I relate to this, because those dudes I was on a podcast with, before I got on the podcast, they were talking behind the scenes about how to ambush me with weird questions, right? And it was the podcast, but with some dude called Potty, like just disgusting individuals, right? So once I've experienced that, I kind of know what Jason Lee is currently going through. He came on not really, thinking it's all good, not really, like prepared to have this conversation, but he was still forced into it. And Rosenberg cooked him. Rosenberg destroyed him. He had no outs, right? And even how Jason Lee ended was even worse than how he began. The ending was terrible. It made him look crazy.
Okay, so I'm going to just say this. I'll be with Rocky tonight at his son's 4th birthday, and I'm going to tell him to his face that I don't give a shit what his opinion is about his support for you, your support for him, what he's done for you, what you've done for him. Because me and Rocky talk about Rihanna, we talk about his children, we talk about how proud he is of me running for office and his love for Harlem and helping kids. We don't talk about you or anybody else. So hold on, I didn't interrupt you. So
I just said meaningful content. You're talking bullshit.
Do you want me to respond, or do you want
right now? You're just showing off about you being friends with Rocky.
No. You told me you invited me,
and I'm giving you. I just gave you facts. You're giving me.
You invited me to talk to my friend about you, and I'm telling you that I'm not going to do that because his opinion of you does not matter to me. Here's what I'm saying to you, and I'm not saying it on social media, or I'm not saying it on Drink Champs. I'm saying it to you on your show.
Okay.
That I said this about our mayor, where I'm the vice mayor and she's the mayor. She appointed me. I said, they love our penises, not our policies. I love that you love hip hop. I love that you've done a lot for hip hop. I love that you put a lot of people on. I love that you believe that you're the reason why A$AP Rocky
didn't say that.
Whatever you said. I believe, and I believe you love hip hop, and I believe you've done a lot from what I've talked to Nori and other people about hip hop. Hot 97, what y'all did over there was great. What you're doing here is great. What he's doing at Apple is great. What you're doing on your own is great. None of that. I'm not taking any legitimacy away from the work that you've done. I'm talking about when niggas like George Floyd are dying. That's the real.
Yeah, I speak out about that too.
Hold on, great.
No, I speak out about that. Always have.
Okay, but guess what?
Spoke out about LGBTQ rights.
Great.
Always have.
But you ain't suck dick and you ain't black. And so you know what?
So I can't contribute.
Let me tell you something.
So I can't contribute.
So you'll never really know.
That's great. And
you'll never really know.
If you want to draw lines, if you want to draw lines with allies over the fact that I'm not black or I haven't quote sucked dick, but you don't know that I have stood up. You don't know that I have risked my livelihood. I risked my livelihood wearing a Black Lives Matter on live television, getting in trouble with bosses, standing up. What groups have you stood up for that you're not related to?
And I got shot, and I now run the city whose streets I used to run.
And by the way,
you know what?
I think it's
this
very
is not
cool.
a measurement.
But you keep bringing out measurements.
This is for your clip farmers that need this moment. I don't really care about all of your resume of all the things you've done to uplift the culture. Here's the deal. Because I said there, and I'll say now, I think you're a culture vulture. That's my opinion.
You're just full of shit.
Okay, great.
You're perfect for politics. You are full of
truth.
Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Who got the best of who in this conversation? Okay, let me know. If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out how Drake just received some really bad news today. I'm going to see you guys in this Drake video. If you want to support, send me a hype to this video, please. That's the best way to support and push my videos. Please send me a hype. I'm going to see you guys in this Drake video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.